Okay, guys, today we are going to come back and visit some of the things that were on your quiz on Thursday that I think some people had some problems with. So we are going to take that quiz again. The quiz from Thursday will just be used as a participation grade. We'll get some more practice today with good examples and then try the quiz again tomorrow. So let's take a look at problem 1. Now, these problems are going to be super similar to what was on your quiz, just changed names and quantities. So we're going to look at the first one that says Sam bought 7 pounds of strawberries. So this is just like that blueberry problem. She put the same amount of strawberries into each of 3 bags with none left over. Which choice correctly describes the amount of strawberries that I see I need to change that to Sam because I changed some names. Did Sam put into each bag? So I created a little model here or a graphic organizer so that we can organize our thinking to get through all of the steps to get that correct answer at the end. So the first thing I want you to do in the first box is draw a fraction model that represents what's happening in the story problem. So I already used the shape feature and pulled over some shapes to start my model. So I know that 7 pounds is going to be an important quantity here, and 3 bags is going to be an important quantity or amount here. So if I'm drawing a fractional model that represents what's happening in this problem, I know that I'm going to be splitting 7 pounds or dividing or sharing 7 pounds of strawberries into 3 bags. So I am going to do that by drawing my 7 pounds and splitting each pound 3 ways, because we're going to put a piece here and a piece there and a piece here and a piece there. So I'm going to split each pound 3 ways to represent some for the first bag, some for the second bag, and some for the third bag. Let me go down here. So when we're looking at each bag, that means we're only really going to pay attention to one bag to get to our answer. So I'm going to pay attention to the first part of each pound. So I know that 1 out of 3, so 1/3, is going to go into each bag. So 1/3 of the first bag, 1/3 of the first pound, 1/3 of the second pound, 1/3 of the third pound, 1/3 of the fourth pound, fifth pound, sixth pound, and seventh pound. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 thirds in our model. So I think that model represents what's happening in the story problem. So let me move to the next step. The next step says, choose a mathematical operation that will solve the problem. Explain why you chose that operation. So I've got 2 reasons in my mind right now. Reason 1, I would use division to model this problem by splitting or dividing, I like that word because it tells me exactly what operation, by dividing each pound by 3, because there's 3 bags. But then I could also say, here's another example. I would use division to draw my model but multiplication to solve, because 1/3, because I drew 1/3 3 times. 1/3 7 times. Why did I say 3? 7 times. So we talked a lot last week in both online and face-to-face about multiplication being the inverse operation. So one undoes the other. We were kind of talking in one class, we were calling it the reverse operation. So you can work the same way back and forward. A good example, or an example that will stick with us, 2 times 5 is 10, just like 10 divided by 5 is 2, and 10 divided by 2 is 5. So those numbers are all in what you used to call a fact family. Now up here in 5th grade, we understand that those are inverse operations. So multiplication and division are related in that way. So we could use division, just division, to solve this problem, or start by dividing the model and then use multiplication to solve it. So I'm going to go up to the next step here and write a fraction that represents now what is happening in this problem. So the fraction, we're going to remember down here, it has a little bit of a reminder on this sheet that I created for you. This part says, my model shows what is being split, shared, or divided as the numerator. So I'm going to use that to guide my thinking here. What is being split in this problem? Well, 7 pounds of strawberries is what is being split up. So 7 is my numerator. And then it says how many ways or by how many people is the denominator being divided or split. So that is, or how many ways is it being split? It's being split 3 ways. So 7 pounds of strawberries are being split into 3 bags. So the fraction that represents what's happening in the problem is 7/3. And this says 7 divided by 3. Now it says use that fraction to solve the problem. Your answer should be in simplest form. So 7/3 is the same as, we just said, the same as 7 divided by 3. It says the exact same thing. So I know that I can make 2 groups of 3 then. 2 times 3 is 6, with 1 left over. So I'm going to bring that 1 up as the numerator. This is a skill that we've been practicing for quite a while now. So what this says now is each bag is going to get 2 1/3 pounds. I'm going to abbreviate that, LBS. So each bag is going to get 2 1/3 pounds. And I think most people are getting that answer, are getting to those answers. So that's good, because that shows that you're really good at computation, or you've mastered dividing the fractions. We're going to go back and make sure that our answer is reasonable, the quantity is not too big or too small, and the answer makes sense. So yes, it does make sense if I check the reasonableness. If we started with 7 pounds, I can imagine that each bag has at least 2 pounds, so that's 6 pounds. And within 3 bags, I said 6, so 2 times 3 is 6. So it is reasonable. And my model shows what is being split, shared, or divided as the numerator, and how many ways or by how many people as the denominator. And we used this to determine that was true. Now, you got here to the answer. Where we got stuck is choosing the answer that best represented the size of your fraction. So to do that, we're going to have to compare some fractions. So I'm going to pause this video to get to the next screen to show how we're going to do that.